Hello, Abnormal Investigations family. I wanted to thank everybody for your support last night, for helping Hunter and donating to Hunter. If anybody would like to donate to bring Hunter home, the links are in the description. Let's get on with this. During the summer of 2013, I was living in Arkansas near Mount Magazine with my roommate, Austin. We were avid hikers, and Arkansas is one of the best places for hiking, camping, and enjoying the natural beauty of the place. Then all in one night, my passion for the outdoor ceased to exist. Austin and I had been planning a weekend to hike around the woods near the base of Mount Magazine, but we had both been pretty busy. Then by chance our weekend opened up, and we were able to set out. We headed out on a Saturday morning, and we would leave on Monday morning. We didn't work on Mondays. It was all set. Our gear had been pre-packed a week in advance. I drove my truck out to a small dirt road where we parked it a bit off the path and locked it up. A park ranger wouldn't be very happy about someone just leaving their truck on the side of the road and camping off the trails and the paths. But this is what we did. Seemed more natural and exciting that way, plus we were away from other campers. That alone made it well worth the trouble. Throwing on our packs and grabbing our gear, we headed into the woods. After walking about an hour and a half, we settled down and put the tents. It was a bit early to be setting up camp, but nearby pond had Austin's blood pumping, so of course we grabbed our poles and found a couple of good spots by the water. It was a very misty day. The sky was quite gray. There was a fog rolling over the large pond, almost a lake. The scenery was absolutely beautiful. But all that serenity was suddenly broken by a crash. It sounded like it came from the other side of the pond. Both our heads jerked up, yet there was nothing there. Austin went back to fishing and whistling a tune I didn't recognize, but I felt odd to say the least. It was as if I could feel eyes on me, under someone's watch. I couldn't concentrate on fishing like he could. I know it was probably fish that had jumped out of the water, or a rock slipping, falling, or maybe even just paranoid horror fans usually are. Well, the moment we had heard the disturbing hissing sound behind us, I knew my fears were not unsubstantiated. All at once we jumped, dropping our fishing poles and turning toward the noise, before what was appeared to be a very pale, hairless creature on all fours. Though its limbs were similar to a person, it was the shape of those limbs that confirmed that it was not human. Its arms were impossibly thin, and bent at the wrong angle, not only to mention that it had a bit longer legs. The nails were disgusting and dirty, sunk into the earth below it. The thing spat its inhuman hiss at us once more, before it vanished into the woods behind it. From the time we saw it to the moment it disappeared into the trees, it could only have been a few seconds. The speed at which this thing moved on all fours was staggering. It was faster than I've ever seen any animal run, almost like a large dog at full speed. We stood there staring down the edge of those woods for about 10 minutes, not uttering a word. Eventually we grabbed our stuff. Obviously, both of us were shaking as we could barely pick up our poles. The walk back to camp was chilling. We walked almost back to back, trying to see every direction at once. I, personally, have never been more afraid in my life. Back at the campsite, I began packing up my stuff, when Austin grabbed me by the shoulder and spoke. "What are you doing?" "What do you mean?" I asked, surprised at his confusion. "I'm leaving. We are leaving." "We've been planning this, man. We should at least stay the night." I glared at him. "Are you kidding me right now, man? Did you not see that thing? I don't care if it is 3 states away by now. I don't want to be here." "Dude, don't be a wuss." I could have slapped him right then. We had just seen something out of the freaking nightmare, and he wanted to spend the night. "We can, share a tent," he compromised. Fine, I laid my stuff back down. We started a fire and tried to take our minds off things. With a bit of a badly played guitar music, some songs we had brought. Yeah, we loved camping, but we also loved Monster Hunter. Besides, I wanted to take my mind off anything the forest related, and gaming was perfect for that, so my PSP was perfect. The night settled down. The fire crackled. Austin began nodding off. I could see him trying to keep himself awake. He must have still been a little bit spooked. We had already gotten inside our sleeping bags in one of our tents. I tried to stay awake, my ears picking up any and every noise outside as I watched the fire cast shadows on the tent walls, hoping not to see a shadow. Yeah, I know, we shouldn't have kept the fire going. But now, more than ever, I think we both needed a little nightlight. Besides, I unzipped the bottom of the tent opening enough to see the fire's base to make sure it didn't go out of control. I did not expect to get any sleep that night. But somehow, I did. I woke up in the middle of the night. God knows how late it must have been. The moment I realized that I had slept, my eyes widened and I sat up in my sleeping bag, almost immediately regretting making so much damn noise. There was a shadow cast upon the tent by the fading fire. A shadow with having shoulders and a grotesque body. Someone is outside of the tent, or something. I lay back down as quietly as possible. But nylon has got to be the noisiest material on the planet. Whoever was out there had to have heard me, but they didn't turn or leave. They just kept crying, or what sounded like crying. As soon as my head hit the thin pillow, my eyes not breaking contact with the shadow, the open portion of the flap revealed everything to me. This was no person. It had very familiar veiny pale skin and impossibly thin legs. The thing sat there, sobbing next to the fire for 2 or so hours. There's no exaggeration there. I stare at it for so long, trying not to breathe and failing miserably, praying that it will think we're asleep and just move on. Minutes before sunrise, the sobbing stopped, and I watched as the shadow hunched down on all fours and crawled away. Austin snored about an hour past sunlight, then woke up fully refreshed. I never went back to sleep. I didn't even move until Austin stood up from his sleeping bag and walked outside to pee. Without a word, I got dressed and started packing everything. I did not tell Austin what had happened that night, and he didn't stop me from getting out things together this time. It wasn't until the quiet drive home that Austin finally said something. "Are you all right, man?" he asked me. "Yeah, I could be better, though," I replied. "I heard you last night," he sighed. "What do you mean?" I felt confused. "I heard you crying." I said it wasn't me crying. He said, "I thought it was you crying. I thought you were afraid and I didn't want to embarrass you by noticing." And then I told him what had happened. He turned as white as a sheet, started sweating. He said, "Why did you not wake me?" And I told him I was terrified that we would make a noise that would cause it to attack us. I just wanted it to go away. I was frozen in fear, afraid to move, wanting it to just move on. Well, guys, that story there reminds me of a time that I seen, something white in a hog pasture that stood up. We never knew what it was. It just stood up and walked away. It wasn't in a hurry or nothing. It was real skinny. It was a pale white, and it walked away. There was actually 2 of them. Me and my cousin seen them. What these things are, I have no idea. I have an opinion. I think some of the things that went on at my granny's was definitely cryptids. And I think cryptids are the Nephilim at this point. And I believe some of the things that went on at my granny's were paranormal, which were also, disembodied demons. Because some things that happened at her place were not of this world. I hope you all enjoyed listening to this, and I really enjoyed seeing you all last night on the live. And we'll be having a live tonight at our normal time, 8:30. I hope to see you guys there. I always look forward to spending time with you guys, and let's have another great live tonight. Well, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And if I learn how to talk, I'll say it better next time, guys. Sorry about that. I'm getting my words twisted up this morning. But anyways, guys, we'll see you tonight on the live. Thank you for watching. It means so much. Smash that like button for Hunter. Let's put that video out there. We'll see you on the next one.